Kara Walker discusses the significance of the silhouette.
The silhouette didn't just happen. I started cutting paper when I lost touch with painting. I was thinking a lot about my relationship to a particular type of oil painting that was large and responding to something that I now think of as a very patriarchal gesture. There was kind of a grandiloquence to painting that I was beginning to mistrust, at least in my relationship to it and its relationship to me. I began to think of painting as indicative of those kinds of social structures that put me in last place as a woman of color, black woman in America. At the time of this questioning, I was thinking about what it means for groups of people to define themselves through images. And I started looking at a lot of early American art, the work by artists that might be limited in their training, or at least limited in their identification with Europe and European painting. So a lot of early American portraiture, and I kept running across silhouette cuttings in the mix. I had a project in mind a number of years ago, and that project was to envision the world as a black thing. There was a phrase floating around in the early 90s or late 80s, it's a black thing you wouldn't understand. Part of my project of looking for black things called for misinterpreting whatever I could, and I began to misinterpret those early American silhouettes that I was uncovering. I think what I like about cutting paper is it's a kind of a violent act. You're creating a very limited portrait of a sitter or of the world, devoid of any nuance or color. And the sort of desire for clarity, I think, is really interesting to me. None of that sort of murky business with touch that painting involves, texture or subtlety.